Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Tonight, hope everyone is having a good night. A pretty busy, but pretty good day. Right now, I'm just getting out some gear. Let's see here. Let's see if I'm gonna click the chat button. Hey, great, it worked. Cool. I've been working hard on Undersea Hero, but I also have some stuff for my buddy Jeff's Kickstarter that I told him I would help out with. It's one of the ways I'm able to help out my friends. I can't back every Kickstarter, so sometimes I'll volunteer to do some labor or do some artwork or whatever. So yeah, this is, I think I've got like 3 or 4 sketch covers I got to do. Some of them are characters I've never heard of, never drawn, which always fascinates me, but hey Jason, good to see you. Hope everything is well in your neck of the woods. Yeah, tonight we'll be drawing something I'm very familiar with, the Tick in Space. Fitting for Planet Comics. I haven't drawn the Tick too much lately because NEC is, basically stopped putting out books for some time. They still have some work I've done sitting on a shelf there, so let's just do a quick warm-up Tick real quick just to get us going. Before I do that, I'll show off the inked page and the sketch cover I did. I was stuck on hold for like a half hour, so I started noodling on a sketch cover, and I just decided after dinner to finish it. But this is what I do like when I'm stuck on hold on the phone or waiting for someone to call me back, like whatever it is, I will sometimes just like noodle away. So thank you, Jason. Yeah, I'm working real hard on it, posting pages all the time. I'll do another Kickstarter official update this weekend, but here's that page. You got the Undersea Casino, which we saw in issue 0, the preview pages, but now you get to see Krakus in action. And on this page, this panel itself took me the better part of a Saturday because of the perspective and everything else going on. There are 2 functional grids on it, and storytelling wise, one of my favorite little bits that nobody's going to care. There's two gags on here that I like, and I don't generally explain my work, but I will go through this panel just to explain it because of how much I think it encapsulates the thoughtfulness that I try to put into a page. We're going to have a speech balloon here that is like hot roller, hot hand at the table, and then we come in and we see that it's Krakus, and with one arm he's stealing his martini, and the olive is shooting up into the air. In his other hand, he's having the pretty lady blow bubbles onto his dice for good luck. And then you see other people. This is the dealer right here. You can see his hand. He's got that little stick for pulling the chips around. Um, oh, hey, Desiree. Getting your hair done? That's nice. And then this guy here, who I use as a framing device for this whole panel right here, just to close it off with the shadows and everything. I wanted a little bit of storytelling. So like I thought of like those big gaudy rings, it might say like, it says gambler to me. I don't know. And then on the next panel, you see the olive that popped up here lands back. He catches it in the glass just before throwing his dice. Um, and that's just 2 panels. So like all the texture that goes into it. This is like abstract texture. These are like lighting fixtures that I saw on the internet that I thought were cool. Abstract shapes, curtains. Got the felt, all the different textures, wood on the side of the craps table. So like when I'm working on composing a scene, these are kind of like the things that I'm really trying to put together. So another one down, which we'll just keep chopping away at them. Too much detail probably on that page, but then it's the establishing shot. So I want people to know that this is a thought out world. So I haven't drawn the tick too much, so let's just do just a quick little header just for fun. I am going to be at the Little Giant comic show up in New Hampshire. Um, in a little later this, let's see, what do you call it? Early spring, late winter. I don't know, but it's a terrific show. It's up in Concord. Jason and company put on a great show. I saw that Bagley's going to be there. He always gets excellent artists there. So, and me for some reason. See you, Desiree. Have a good hair appointment. One of the things that I took away from the last time I was sitting next to Ben Edlund was the way he used the tick's tongue. It was almost like, and I'd never thought about doing it this way. It was almost like the way Venom's tongue was used as like a design component. So I started doing that, and it was funny. I did on for any, and they were like, "Why are you doing this?" And I said, "Well, I stole it from Ben. He was doing it in his sketches and at the table, and I thought, why not pay attention to the guys, the guy that created the thing while he's drawing it twice, and it's great, referring to up in Concord. Um, yeah, it's a great little show. I mean, that's why it's called the Old School Comic Show. Another one that I love is Jim City out in Ohio. All comics and artists, run by a real nice family. Hey, Matt, good to see you. Spoon, indeed. When I was a kid, I loved the cartoon show. I liked stuff that was a little weirder. So I had read the comic books before I saw the cartoon show, but just I would say briefly, maybe a year before the show went on, I first read the comic book. So, like to me, it was just as famous as any other character that was like comic book TV show. They had toys, they had cereal, they had video games. You know, it's hard to lose perspective. I mean, it's easy to lose perspective that it was just published by a little store in New England. Hey, Gregory, good to see you. What's good with me? Just working on Undersea Hero, and tonight I'm helping out my buddy Jeff with his Kickstarter. Jeff was super helpful on the back end for the Undersea Hero Kickstarter, helping me, know how to do stuff, setting things up, setting up the campaign, knowing how to connect things. I do remember Space Ghost. I like Space Ghost quite a bit. I would highly recommend anyone who has never read it. There was Kamiko put out a Space Ghost one shot in the 80s that was drawn by Steve Rude and colored by Ken Steacy, and it's a tremendous comic book. It's easy to collect them all because there's just one. I know I owe some people some messages and things and some phone calls. I'm finally feeling pretty good. So last week I was, hey, Zach, how are you? Good to see you. Another creator, alumni of the Kubert School of Cartooning Art, where I always wanted to go. I actually wrote Joe Kubert a letter, and he wrote me back um, when I was a young, lost comic book creator trying to find any sort of direction or help, in footing. Yeah, you just moved, so you're a lot closer than you were. You were down far away. I don't like to disclose people's locations, but you were not in this region. Um, but yeah, I'll be at the Little Giants show in Concord. So yeah, maybe we can get a cup of coffee or something. I haven't headed up north in a little while, so been sick, been dealing with stuff. I got to finish my taxes, all the fun stuff of being a comic book creator, or just an artist in general, or anyone that has to conduct business or commerce. I actually enjoy drawing on the light paper sometimes. I also like the idea that it's not permanent. I think that a lot of people expect pieces of art to be designed to last forever, and impermanence is part of my uh, enjoyment. My pages and stuff, they're all drawn with like India ink and they're on Bristol and all that, and they'll last a very long time. But I love doing sketches in chalk. I like doing sketches, that aren't they don't bear the responsibility of existing for more than just a fleeting enjoyment. I think of like the sand artists. Fascinated by it. Yeah, Zach, if we'll try to connect soon. Trying to think the other Space Ghost comics that have come out. There was the Hanna-Barbera stuff that came out from Gold Key. That was like in the, when the show was originally on TV. And then DC did a Future Quest series that Craig Russo did some work in. Um, DC did a couple of them. Didn't Alex Ross do a Space Ghost series at one point? I feel like he did. There we go. Just a quick little headshot to get loose. Nothing fancy. But yeah, here's a blank piece of paper. Here's our sketch cover. Space Tick. I don't know. I wrote that just being silly. What's our concept for this cover? I don't know. Let's try to think of something. I thought maybe like a play on space and just the idea of space and distance and scale. I thought maybe that could be something cool. Um, I would love to intentionally play with scale. So what are some giant things, like a planet? I like the idea of him holding up a planet and then holding a moon like in his hand. And then maybe he's asking Arthur, like, do we need this? Maybe that would be a fun idea. I don't know. Kind of like that, because then I get to draw Arthur too, and anytime I get asked to draw the Tick, I try to include Arthur because it's like they're best friends. So why can't you fit both in? We did a Tick in Space story called Moon Marathon. It was based on one of the original trading cards from the '90s that Ben had drawn, and it was a really fun story about some space monkeys on the moon. I got to put in some nice references to some really obscure Tick characters. Hey, Dennis, just working out the concept for the piece right now. I think we need some little aliens. I think we need like let's pretend that this is their home planet. There's the moon. Very silly. You did get the cat reveal on today's announcement. I thought that would be a good way to introduce the world to Bruce. He is a very sweet cat. He was hanging out with me while I was working on that page yesterday. Here's our prelim. Um, he is just very nice. He's not one of those cats that people would point to like, this is why I don't like cats. Oh, got blurry. There we go. I actually think we need to lower Arthur down a little bit. Put him right here. All right. I know that that's just squiggles to everyone, but it gives me the notes I need to do the piece. So, all right. And I don't ignore the marks I just made, but it really is just to give me the space. And right now, what I'm doing is I'm really just trying to get the planes in there. What I mean by the planes is just the different surfaces, really. Hey, Robert. Oh, thank you. Robert is the operator of a convention that's in Fall River uh, very soon. I don't know if I can say anything more, but as you folks regular know, I usually use a 0.5-inch mechanical pencil. And then I use a kneaded eraser usually. This is Uni brand pencil lead. I don't have my bag of tricks in front of me, do I? Not sure if I have any backups in here, but yeah, it's Uni brand lead. You can pick it up on Jet Pens, and they don't sponsor me, but I buy a lot of my art supplies there. Okay, Robert says it's cool. I'll be at the Fall River Toy and Comic Palooza on May 19th. It's a one-day show. I've never been there, but it's very close by, and I'm excited to check it out. There will be artists and vendors and all kinds of stuff going on. So I love one-day comic shows, so I am going in very excited. Hello, JZJASY_18. Hello. This is a rare, not just like making a giant grin tick, because he's asking a question. Probably putting too much detail into this portion already, because I'm probably going to have to redraw and erase things. But one of the things that creates depth in my rendition of the tick is having the chin actually covering up part of the mouth. That creates it pushes back that portion of the face even further back. Um, when I was originally figuring out how I drew the tick, I was going crazy just trying to figure out the three-dimensional model that Ben had in mind. And when I finally met Ben and I asked him about it, I asked him, like, why does the tick's head look like it this from one angle and this from another? He said, I just drew it that way. So, have I seen the Daybreak trailer? I have not. I apologize. I have not been surfing the internet much lately, but I will. I promise I will watch it after the stream. I'm pretty excited for the continuation of new Zodiacs. I saw Joe posting those pages, Saint Pierre. Um, very exciting. He's been, I won't say he's been wrapped up, um, but he's just been so busy on like, he was doing those Cousteau books for a couple of years, which they're amazing. If I was a little kid, my love of the ocean, I clearly would have had these books. Or mowed enough lawns or did enough chores to get these books. But he hasn't had time to work on his creator-owned book as much as he would like to. And he's told me that, so I don't think I'm speaking, necessarily out of school. Wanting to work on your own characters is a natural thing. Um, and it's just so exciting to see the pages, and you can see how much he loves the characters on those just gorgeous layouts. Put his hand up here. I don't know how I'm gonna get this circle. Maybe I'll get like a dish plate or something so that I make sure the circle is correct. Yes, cricket. Yes. I, being a Scorpio, have been asking him about the Scorpio situation, and he's been pretty tight-lipped, even with me. His old pal, um, he has not shared with me his plans for whatever the Scorpio new zodiac will be. So I'll be going into it fresh whenever it comes out. Hey, Zach, thanks for popping in. Good luck on your show. Yeah, let's try to link up when I'm heading north. I think he needs a space helmet. I think at the very least we have to put a space helmet on. This will be the moon that he's holding. I don't know. I just always thought of the tick as playing with concepts and physics differently. So I wanted to do something a little more abstract. Yeah. Good luck. He was very, very tight-lipped about the Northeast Comic Con. I don't have any plans right now. When is it? When is the next one? When is Gary's next show? I have not been to one of Gary's shows in years. Maybe I can convince Joe to just let me be his sales minion for the show. I don't know. I know Joe's been friends with Gary for a long time, so March 8th through 10th. There is something in March that I'm supposed to do. I'm trying to remember what it is now. And I get in trouble because I don't know what it is. March 8th through 10th. Yeah, there's definitely something I'm supposed to do. I don't remember what it is. Well, if it's not, if there's one of those days, if it's still, in the same building that it's been in for years, I will try to make a swing out. Maybe I can get one of our maybe I can get Jonathan to be the wheelman, or I'll buy his ticket or something. Boxborough. Yep. Same, but I think it's in the same building it's been in for a while. Northeast Comic Con. I'm trying to remember the last one I set up at. I think it was the last one before COVID. I think that was it might have been that one, or it would have been the one before that. I don't remember. It's been a long time though. Yeah. Yeah, there used to be a million shows around, of the smaller variety. There's some are starting to pop up here and there. There's, like I said, there's the one show in Fall River in May that I'm going to check out. Um, Super Mega Fest kind of disappeared. Uh, Rhode Island Comic Con did that little Massachusetts show, which I don't think they're going to do again, or at least it doesn't look like it. I haven't seen any announcements, and I have zero insider knowledge because I do not work in the office anymore. Super Mega Fest is coming back. Okay, sure. What was the one Jay used to like? Rockin' Shock? Rockin'? It was like a music and comic show. He used to do that one, and do well at it. He said it was a good show for him. So there's where the hip would be. So there's where the leg would be. Looks like it's stuck down on that. Let's bring the leg up like this. Let's see if we can get it behind that arm. So again, creating more depth through our layers. It'll be at the Natick Mall. Interesting. If you go to that show, there's a store just up the street called Bedrock Comics. So if you're in the area, swing by, say hi to Jackie and Jimmy. They used to run Boston Comic Con. Terrific store. They have great $1.50 bins, and if you're a reader, it's a great place to go. And they also have like some of the high-end collectible type books, but man, I always walk out of there with a stack. I got to get up to Rubber Chicken. I haven't been there in too long. Going there for me is like going to a convention as far as buying goes, because he just has like piles and piles of like stuff I'm looking for. And then I find stuff I don't even know I'm looking for. And there's going to be little tiny spaceships from the planet attacking the tick. I need to pick up some of your TMNT comics. That's what Dennis says. Oh, next time we're at a show, I'll bring some. Um, Drove by that shop every time they were closed. Which one, Bedrock or Rubber Chicken? Um, JZ18 says it's hard to find traditional artists on Twitch, or is it just me? Honestly, I don't know. I don't hang out on Twitch all that much, and I debated, deleting my Twitch channel-y thing, but occasionally some nice folks like yourself pop in and say hi, so I decided to just leave it there. I don't maintain it very well. So forgive the appearance if it's lackluster. Bedrock. Maybe they close a couple days a week now, because I know Jackie is pretty much in the store by himself most of the week. Dennis says, have to get some recording done. Hey, good luck, man. Voice actor, Dennis Dietrich, ladies and gentlemen. I think if we have Arthur, we have like an asteroid here that he's got his foot on. We don't need to know what his other foot's on, because that's off camera. We don't have to know that. That's the magic of comic books right there. Maybe there's a second moon, just to establish context, so visually you can tell that it's a moon. Hey, thanks, Matt. I will catch you later, as my camera stand decides to go for a tumble. There we go. The majesty and wonder of live television. Thank you, Matt. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a dynamic floating in space pose for Arthur a little bit. Arthur needs a space helmet because he is not nigh invulnerable like the Tick is. I always draw Arthur with a little belly. We're gonna have to move this spaceship right here. One hand is here. The other's gonna be over there. Arthur is always worried, so drawing him with a worried expression is something that I had to do quite a bit when drawing his stories. There's one story we did where Jeff just had some great lines where Tick has been taken over by an alien creature, and the only way to like get it to let go of Tick was just to bore it to death. And so they had him doing chores with Arthur all day. One of them was like rearranging boxes of small pieces of lint, which was just hilarious to me. Here's our foreshortened hand coming forward. So like the distance between this shoulder and the neck here, and then this shoulder is going to be varied. Like this will be shorter than this by a little bit. Foreshortening is something that I'm always trying to just double check and recheck, but it's a difficult thing to learn. And it's in my mind, it makes more sense that things are the same size. So, like, I had some bad drawing habits for a long time of disproportionate foreshortening, and I still have it to some degree, just out of old habits. But I've gotten a lot better about varying those sizes. My buddy Craig is just dynamite at foreshortening. He's probably one of the best in the business right now. He and Daryl Banks, if you're looking for more of like your like action, less simplified, let's just say, more action illustrative, less design oriented. Different approach totally. I always thought to ask, I don't know if I ever asked Daryl if he was a big Neil Adams guy or if he was more of a Buscema guy, like where his action came from. Maybe I'll reach out to Daryl to see if I can get him to show up on the 100th episode. We're on episode 84, or 85, so we're only 15 weeks away from episode 100. To think that this show would make it to 100 is an absurd notion. There's his knee. And there's his foot. So it looks like he's floating. That's what I wanted. This leg might need to be a little fatter. And this leg, which is going this way, we're actually going to see the side of the leg. from this angle. So we'll probably get like a little bit of foot like that. Stuff like that took me years to get better at. Lots and lots of practice. Let's just do a quick design on those little mini spaceships, just so that I'm not picking out of my rear. I'm thinking like a little bubble top. It's like two little blasters, and like two little boosters. And then maybe the bubble top's more ridiculous. Like let's go full Jetsons. And then maybe we can put like a little alien guy inside, like a one eye. What's a nice simplified alien that's easy to see? So if it was one eye, and then like two little tentacles driving a wheel. Or does it have to be two eyes? Because it would be, there we go. Maybe we give him a little horn or something. I don't know. Bruce is meowing outside the door. So basically the idea is that the tick is holding this planet, and it's the home planet of these little tiny aliens, and he's holding their moon. Got 1, 2, 3. Probably need another coming from above. So it looks like he's being swarmed. There we go. All right, well, it's 8:52. Man, it's already been an hour. You see, this is why it takes me so long to finish these things. We've got a whole story going on here. We've got the tick taking these aliens' planet and their moon, multiple characters. I don't know. I have no idea what Jeff charged for these things. I just think of something cool to draw, and then I just go. Trying to focus because the little bumps on his antennae, I want them going a certain way. Those were another thing that I actually changed how I draw them based on my interactions with Ben. I struggled with them mightily in my first couple of stories. If you look back, The antennae were definitely something that were like a sticking point for me, where I just couldn't get them to work, couldn't get them to move right. And it's because I was drawing individual segments at a time, and they were stiff. And Ben just goes, "Well, you just go like this." And I'm like, "What do you mean? That's just four little." Well, he's like, "Oh, well, this is where it overlaps here, and this is where it overlaps here, and this is where it overlaps here. And if you draw it fast, it follows the same curvature." Just stuff like that that I don't even, you don't even, I'd never thought of. I was just trying to think of like the pieces and how they fit together. He had already mastered it and internalized it to the point where he had come up with a faster, better way to do it. Got quite a few people in tonight. Thanks for all popping in for our Wednesday stream. 85th, my God. 85 times I've done this. It's just madness. As Jay would say, it's madness. I haven't really lit this figure, which is concerning me, but we'll figure it out. I'm just going to rough in the bubble helmet for the time being. We'll get our stencil out, and we'll make sure it's correct when we go to ink it. Just roughing it in. One thing I do wish that I could figure out how to do would be able to listen to music while this is going on without losing my, being flagged or anything. If there was a way to have like a radio on or something, but I don't think it's possible from everything I've seen. But it's a bad line. Do you see that lazy line I just did there? Bad line. Hey Isaiah, how are you? Yeah, this is for Jeff's Kickstarter. The person requested a space tick. So we've got the tick holding up a planet with one arm, holding the moon of the planet in another, and then there's all kinds of little spaceships with little aliens from this planet attacking the tick. So I thought that would be a funny little, just a little funny little scene. The tick plays with those different concepts of time, space, just abstractions of things, and I wanted to play with that a little bit with this. Gotta have our space helmet. I really don't draw characters I don't own much anymore. Like even when I've been goofing off, I've been drawing my own stuff. So really just for when people want to commission something. Although I will say that like if my list is currently closed, so if anybody is looking to get something, it'll be when I'm at a show in person. So actually didn't even need that. See, I wasted all that thought and effort on a part that's not even going to be there. Originally, when I did Moon Marathon, I didn't want him to really have a space suit. I just wanted him to have a helmet and like a shoulder strap to like a little air tank. And yeah, editorial said, nope, he's got to have some kind of a suit. I was like, okay. So I just tried to make it like an EC style spacesuit. Hey, Michael, have a good night too. Thanks for popping in. See, and that's not. There we go. Good air. It's not just air, it's good air. Trying to at least get a rough out so you can see most of the tick, even if we don't get to the aliens yet. I actually think that needs to go up a little bit more. See, most of this muscle is going to be back here, so we just have to have sort of the back end of it showing there. The bicep coming down. Not sure how much longer we're going to stay on tonight, but thanks everybody for popping in. I've got to do like 5 of these things. Why do I agree to do this stuff? It's because Jeff's the nicest guy. That's why. That's why. Jeff says jump, I say how high. I'm going to work on this joint here. I want to get the muscles right, the way the striations work together. Hey, Joe. Oh, you're very welcome. I'm happy to be here. If anybody's here just for the Kickstarter update, it's at the beginning of the video. You can scroll back and catch up, see the stuff, see the page that we finished. Be working on the next. I'm actually really proud of the next page layout, so I'm excited to show that one off. And um, it's a really fun way to do things. And I know I don't do a lot of typed out updates, but I will do one. I will have another one this weekend because I've got like another 3 pages or so to put into the update. It'll probably be Sunday because I've got a dentist appointment Friday and work, and then Saturday I have an appointment I have to make. So and who knows, by tomorrow I'll look at some of this foreshortening and redraw some of it. And this will be inked. I'm not gonna color it, but it'll just be inked. Yeah, it was close. Didn't quite get it, but it was close. I can live with that. When I'm just roughing stuff out, it's sometimes hard to get the geometrics right. I'm gonna try to get this hand roughed in so people can see it better. And then we're gonna call it a night. This is where the tubes and cubes method I'm always preaching comes in handy because when you're doing hands that are wrapped around stuff, it really simplifies those shapes. Come back with the top of the wrist, and just like the giant Popeye forearm portion of the arm meat. And then he's holding the moon right here. The person who this is for is a giant tick fan, so I'm hoping he'll enjoy the abstract quality of the concept. But yeah, he's holding the moon. I know it's a little weird, but so's the tick. When he's at his best, he's a little weird. Just building out some of the figure here to try to. This foot doesn't look right to me, so I think it's because there's not enough volume to it. Something like that. It's a little better. Then there will be a shadow there. And then where the arm is coming across, we'll probably have another shadow like that. Let's see, we might have to lose some of this. But hey, you get to see the roughed out tick. And then this is the planet right here. Okay, Comic says, love the style, no school like old. Yeah, my style is very, in traditional American comic books, you know. I didn't have the heavy manga influence that a lot of the young artists these days have. And I like it. I like seeing that difference in the work. I find it exciting to see people with different influences taking on properties that haven't had that feeling before. I think that's really, really cool. But it's 9:15. We've gone a little over what I had planned on going, so we're going to call it a night. I want to thank everybody who came by this evening and took the time to check stuff out. Give you another quick look at the page. Here's the last page that we did, those two bottom panels. And then here is the other sketch cover I did over the weekend. So thanks everybody for popping in. I will hopefully catch you all in a week. Have a good night and have a lovely weekend. I will catch you later. Bye.